All right, family. 3 weeks ago, we grafted onto several pear trees. This piece is totally useless because it is rootstock. These will go in the fire. So what we want there is that clean workspace. Okay. Now you take that little back, you scrape that because that's going to touch inside that bark. Just scrape it a little bit, just like that. Because that's what we want touching is the green on the tree. Now watch this. I'm just going to take this spear that we made and the back is scraped. I wanted to scrape a little more. I'm being greedy now. We're going to slip that right down in that pocket. Just like that. I'm even take it to the side a little bit. Get it all the way down in there. Just like that. Because what we have there is a union. All of the green inside of this bark, which is the cambium layer, is touching the green on our new scion right there. Okay? I opened up my flaps. We cut it. We opened up our flaps. I want you to come from, okay, there we go. You can see that. See that? It's the bark is slipping real easy. I don't have to put no pressure on that. It's just coming away from the bark. Real easy. Now, okay, there we go. Just like that. And I'm not doing this for nothing because I challenge y'all to try it. What do you win, you ask? You win a little bit of knowledge that you can give to somebody else. There you go. Now, let me see if we still on target. We still on target. Scrape the back a little bit. Just scrape it a little bit. Remember, if you ain't got no glove on, don't touch this because your oils from your fingers just mess stuff up. Remember, it's surgery. Now we're just gonna open that up and slip this right down in there like that. What we have now, 2 grafts. We have 2 different kinds of tree on this tree right here. What do we do from here? We seal it up and protect it from the weather. And you don't even have to worry about it girdling your tree. Because by the time this is all healed over, the sun done baked this rubber band till it ain't no good no more and it will just pop off. You just gonna wrap that around there. My rubber band broke. I got some old rubber bands. Keep on, just go around there over top of it. You want this so tight that if it was around your finger, it would cut off your circulation. That's what you want. It's the opposite when you're doing this because it needs to be tight so the cambium layer can make sure it touches each other. Okay? So then you just tie that off. No big deal. Just like that. All right? Now that is tight. Tight, tight. All right? That's what you want. You want this pressed together like that. Now, this is going to also press it together, but at the same time, I'm going to take this off because it's going to be hard to do between these 2 branches. I normally don't do it like this. But nothing is ever the same, so you always have to do some engineering. You want to pull that electrical tape tight, 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 tight. Because not only is this electrical tape almost like a rubber band, but it's also bringing it tight, but it's also sealing your graft from the weather. You're going to bring that all the way up like that. Yeah, they say, come get this breakfast. All the way around, tight, 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 tight. Just like that. You see that? There is nothing that we did that is exposed, right? Now I'm gonna bring this camera up because I want to show you how we're gonna finish this off. Plumber's putty. We want to seal the top off and keep it moist. Let's just do this. Get that plumber's putty and you just cram that on there just like around a pipe, okay? When this graft gets big and strong, it will bust out of this plumber's putty like it's a joke. Thank you, honey. You the best. I love you so much. Love you, man. That's it. You can either put glue down in that hole, plumber's putty, wax. I've used it all. Wax, plumber's putty, glue, whatever you want to use, but you need to keep that sealed up, sealing in the freshness. All right? Now, we got 2 new trees on this rootstock. I'm going to show you the results from that, and then I'm going to show you what you can expect in a year. Let's go. Here's the first graft we did on this pear tree that we had in the back that I let the rootstock grow. We grafted onto the bark. We're going to check that one out. The bark, not the bark graft, but the T-bud. And we're going to check our bark grafts. See how we did. We're just checking it. As you can see, they have budded out and they are growing. We did keep in the moisture. That is awesome. Let's see. Carefully pull that off. There you have it, family. Our bark grafts worked. This is where we put our wax or your glue, whatever you wanted to use. I got a bud growing right there. But as you can see, that held in the moisture, kept it sealed up. And here's our new growth budding out of those buds. Now, these are the ones I did after. I did not record them, but I told you I had a lot of work to do. These are ones that I grafted right on and did not cover. All I did was wrap them in the plastic tape. I never covered them with plastic or a paper bag, and they're fully budding out right now. Here's another one that I did here. It's budding out of the side. These were bare sticks. And this is where I put the graft on down here. As you can see, they are fully budded out. I never covered these with a paper bag at all. All I did was seal this top, seal this end with plastic tape. Like I told you, you don't always need the paper bags or the plastic bags, depending on what you're doing. Number 2, when you graft, you're going to get a lot of buds growing down on the trunk down here, on your original trunk. You wipe those off. Just take your hand like this piece here. Take your hand and just wipe that off, because that is taking the energy away from the grafts that you put on. We don't want that. Like this piece here, we don't want that. We don't want any of this. I'm gonna leave this here because it's a nice nursing branch, but I won't let that go too crazy either. So far, so good. Let's see what's in the last bag. What do we got? As you can see, it's fully budded out, but too much moisture inside. So we're going to remove this bag. That one went at an alarming rate. See that? So that one should have been off, because now we have leaves here starting to mold. I'm going to just pinch that off. We don't want any kind of mold starting. And I'm gonna leave the rest. There we go. Perfect. I'm gonna remove this paper down at the bottom. Don't need that anymore. As you can see, it's fully leafing out right here, all the way down. As I said before, the pieces here, that's our old stock. We don't want any of that energy escaping our graft. So we're going to remove those like this. We don't want any of that energy escaping. We want all of that energy going into our graft. So there you have it. And for these two here, we're going to remove these as well, because they will steal all of the energy away from our work. There we have it, family. And I still have one on this side that I can graft onto. Now, let's check the graft in the front. I've already removed that bag, but I can show you what's going on. This one in the backyard is 100% success. I will leave those bags off from here on out. As you can see, this is the graft we did in the front yard. As you can see, it's budding out right here in the center. It's opening up, and that's green right here in the center. The piece we put in the back, you can see the green in the center is starting to bud out and leaf out. This one I removed because it molded, because it grew so fast, just like our one in the backyard. But we still have several buds to bud out here. That's why I always like to do 4 to 6 buds, because if one fell on you, you got a few more chances to go. So, as you can see, this too is a 100% success rate. Okay, now you're probably asking, what is that going to look like in a year? In a year's time, this is what those grafts are going to look like. What I have here behind me is an apple tree of many different varieties that me and my son grafted onto this tree. And I'm going to show you, we did the exact same technique that I showed you in our last video. This is the results. As you can see, this is where I opened the bark on the back end and put my 4-inch scion in here and taped around it. You can still see the black tape, how it used to look. That tar has never left. But as you can see, this is what it's become. We cut it off here, we grafted on here, and this is our new branch after only a year's time. It's several, but I'm gonna follow this one. Now, some people ask me, why do you do that? I've heard, that was a beautiful tree, you should have left it alone. Some of that tree still exists, but if you want fruit sooner, and if you want another variety, this is what you do. There you go. This tree is now blooming and in full bloom, giving me fruit. As you can see, those are baby apples that have been pollinated all over this tree. All different varieties. You may have a Honeycrisp here. You may have a Pink Lady here. You may have a Red Delicious here. You may have a Golden Delicious here. You may have a Granny Smith here. You may have a Fuji apple here. You may have a Dorset Golden here, Eisenheimer. You may have a Wolf River here. Whatever kind of fruit tree is totally up to you. I just showed you a simple, quick way to get fruit if you're not getting fruit. I also showed you a simple, quick way to get more fruit and different varieties on your land if you don't have space for nothing but one tree, one spot like this. One spot, 8 trees. It's that easy, all right? I hope this helped you. I'll link the other video below to show you exactly how we did this, and this is the result you're going to get, all right? Farmer 73, thank you for watching. I love you. Good night.